Hi, Omer. I'm going to try and keep this as brief as possible. I did quite a lot in high school through college. I was involved in a lot of activities. So I will start by saying from ninth through the first 2 years of college, I was involved in pre-professional ballet. And most days, especially between ninth to 11th grade, I would say I would do 2 to 4 hours of ballet. And it was Cicchetti method, so they would have people come from the Royal Society of Dance to test us at each grade level. And so I'm actually qualified to teach ballet on a professional level in each one of those grades. So that's pretty cool. So grade 9 through 12, I also participated in early morning seminary. So every morning at 6 a.m. before school, I would go do like Bible study type stuff. And that taught me, or I guess it trained me to do that whole early to bed, early to rise success structure of the day. Didn't always go to bed early, but I'm very comfortable with getting up early as a result of that. I remember in ninth grade, I was very ambitious and driven, and I tried to, I don't know if it's auditioning or what it is. I guess you get voted in to be part of the presidency of different clubs, and because I was a ninth grader, I was not allowed to do a lot of things, and I remember finding that frustrating that I would have to wait till I was like 12th grade to, be in a leadership position. And I also noticed school wasn't very challenging. It was a lot of like memorization and regurgitation and multiple choice tests, which for me, I knew that, I'm a writer. Give me like a written test and I will do amazing. Give me a multiple choice test and I'm doesn't necessarily show how much I actually know. So I just kind of saw a flaw in the system, and I could tell that I wasn't really going to be prepared for the future with just the method of memorization and, memorize and repeat type school. So I, tried to transition most of my classes to be at least AP, and the school counselor wanted to dissuade me from that for some reason. They thought it would be too much pressure, too much stress, and I just thought that was odd that they would make it so difficult for me to try and get the best education that I could get. And so I remember like towards the end of ninth grade, my mom was very supportive, and she helped me start doing research into schools and seeing like where could I go that would have like a better program for me. We found that, I don't know when this happened, but by my junior year, a brand new school across town was going to be opening up, and they were going to have an international baccalaureate program. Not sure if you're familiar with that, but it's an amazing program, very intensive, and it looked like it was everything that I wanted. And so that worked out. So I transferred schools, and I, as a result of being in the IB program, my GPA was above a 4.0 because every class is weighted. I'm not sure if that's the correct term, but yeah, similar to AP, they're weighted so you can get higher than a 4.0. And I remember I started the peer mentor program there my junior year. So that was kind of like running a business where I would pair students with other students, and if they couldn't do it during school hours, we would plan it for at the public library. So I was in charge of making sure everyone got their service hours and having teachers sign off on that, and just matching up schedules and things. And so at the time that counted as my community service, but looking back, I feel like it was like my first little somewhat of a business venture. And I also ran the Habitat for Humanity chapter. That was an amazing experience, and I remember I didn't know it at the time, but looking back, I now understand I was marketing. Every Friday we would have our club meeting, and I would dress like a construction worker. I'd have like a I think it was like Bob the Builder. Like I'd have a construction hat, a construction vest, and like a utility belt. And on the back of my construction vest, it would say like meeting in room whatever at this time. And I think I even carried around like a stick that had like, so when I was walking from class to class, people could see like meeting in this room at this time. And I just had fun. I remember that I was happiest when I was branding something, or I guess marketing something. So pretty much every day of the week I was participating in some sort of club, doing ballet after school, and the seminary before school. I was very busy, and my identity kind of revolved around getting into my dream school for college, and unfortunately that didn't happen. It was quite a shock for my system. I remember the principal and like a lot of my teachers tried to help me out by contacting the school and trying to help me get in, and for some reason I didn't get in. And so I remember I was graduating and feeling so confused because I really, I'm a top student. I ran multiple clubs. I was just so, like, I had devoted my life to getting into this college. And somebody who had been in ballet with me, I knew that she had, for example, failed math, and she got into the same school that I wanted. And I was just like, how did she get in with an F, So I remember that was a weird time in my life. So I graduated without having a college. I was accepted into some schools automatically as a result of my grades, but I just didn't necessarily count them as places that I was interested in. So I tried to do a language program at the college that I wanted to get into during summer, hoping that if I, got excellent grades, they could transfer into the school and I could just seamlessly, become a freshman with them in the fall. And what I did was the Arabic program. So I had heard that Arabic was like the closest to French, or I can't recall if it was just like certain French-speaking countries also speak Arabic, and I had studied French in high school, and I was very good at French. So that's why I chose the Arabic program. But when I went there, it was learning a whole new alphabet, whole new, reading from right to left. It was just the opposite of how my brain normally works. And I remember it was like the first time in my life that I struggled to learn. And I think that was like the second really big hit where I remember I started having anxiety for the first time in my life, because it's like I couldn't academically compete, and that was where I was strongest. And yeah, so from there, since I also had a family crisis where my grandma was on the verge of passing away, so my family took me out of the Arabic program and had me come to Colorado to help them. And so I remember a lot of people were starting their first semester in college, and I was in Colorado with my family helping take care of this family situation. So I think I ended up going to college about a year later than most people as a result of helping my family. And I ended up going to a school right next to my family's home. And that wasn't really what I wanted for myself. So I remember I was really struggling with my, I don't know if it would be self-esteem or just like valuing myself, because I kind of felt like I had failed at life, because seriously, since the second grade, I had really focused on doing well in school so that I could go to this college. And so around my freshman year of college, I like the struggle with learning that I first encountered at the Arabic camp continued, and it progressively got worse, where I couldn't even pay attention to, or like the boards were blurry, and I became very sensitive to like lighting and all of these things. And I remember a TA came and spoke to me because he noticed that I was recording lectures and then replaying them and typing them out, just because I that was the only way for me to absorb the information and compute it. And when he saw that, he told me that I had a learning disability, and I was just like, what? That's impossible, because I had been such a stellar student for so long. How could that be possible? And I don't know. I was given some accommodations, and that actually helped me with the struggles that I was experiencing in school. So I was like, well, okay. I mean, like, it gives me more time to take tests. They gave me like a area where I can take tests privately, and that really helped my grades improve. But it was much different than high school. High school was very structured, and then you go to college and it's not so structured. And in high school, I was able, if I was struggling in a class, I would just like come early, stay in at lunch, or stay after school with the teacher, and they would help me improve an assignment or understand what I needed to do to improve the assignment, and then my grades would go up from just doing that. In college, there were office hours, but you're talking to a TA, you're not necessarily talking to the professor. I just felt very disconnected. It was like a confusing thing. So I kind of learned from that of course I do best in a structured environment, but when there's kind of a chaotic environment, I have now learned how to compensate and create my own structure. And so I kind of liked how you said that with the job. The first 2 to 4 hours are reactive, and then after that it's proactive, because that designates like the different parts of the day, and that, for me, that's a form of structure. So I experienced around the age 20, 21, I got really sick, and so the learning disability situation kind of progressed, I guess, into more of a health situation. We still don't know what it was, what happened with that. It potentially is Lyme's or some sort of autoimmune thing, but it ended up being like I had extreme chronic fatigue. I was getting sick off of anything I ate, and for a period of like 2.5 years, I was stuck in bed. I had to have assistance even to like lift myself up and to go to like walk over to the bathroom. So that was a very hard time in life. I saw everybody graduate while I'm there in bed, and it's a lot of life not going the way that you thought it was gonna go. And during that time, I still had that desire to achieve, but here I am where my body's just not working. I physically cannot move. I physically cannot even walk. And so I started to create. I started to focus on writing stories. Like I would lay in bed, and then on the side of my wall I would put like sticky notes, and I would create storyboards for like novels and TV shows and different things like that. And I would teach myself, or I guess self-study, digital marketing. I would look at what people are doing and try and mimic it, and create content, practiced graphic design, practiced all of that stuff. And what I discovered from that was even when everything is not working in my favor, I have this gift. I have this ability to create. I love the design. I love branding. I love making businesses. That's another thing I did. I would create business plans, and I would create logos to go with the businesses and like different things like that. So from there, I thought that becoming a graphic designer must be like the next step. And I've also been trying to do kids books because I noticed it's just, you know, writing a novel kind of takes a long time. I don't know, you guys have it figured out how you can do it in less time, but the novel was taking me a very long time, so I decided, hey, I should probably do kids books because they're only 32 pages. I can easily get one, you know, like if I do illustrate a page a day, I can have a book done in a month. So I illustrated a paper doll book, and I worked on a second book as well, and I'm really proud of them. I'm still gonna do more with them. I won't go into that too much, but it's just like some days I was too sick to work on them, but when I was able to, I would it just helped me feel better and to be productive that way. And I'm trying to think. I didn't really like plan this out. I'm just like talking. So I also wanted to say, when I look at the self-publishing school, I love what Chandler has done with it, and I'm not sure if he's open to it, but I would love to help open a branch of children's books even. You know, if you pair fine artists with writers and then teach them how to, you know, do the same thing with the self-publishing school, I think that would be a really cool niche. And I think it easily matches what's already being done. So I mean, that's a possible idea of what we could work on together. But I guess I'll close with saying that my health setback taught me to value the ability to work remotely, just in case if something happens where maybe you're like physically unable to get places, having a way to earn money from your home is really important. That's partly why I have continued to pursue like the digital marketing. I really see that being a way for providing for yourself. And with the self-publishing school, the company culture is completely what I've wanted for myself. I loved everyone I met. Everyone seems to have the same core values, and they match my own. I've kind of changed my idea of how I view my career, because I used to, you know, when I was in high school, I was so book smart and academically inclined that I think I had the mentality of focusing on like college was supposed to provide me my my career. But after getting sick, I saw a lot of people graduate and things didn't necessarily go the way that they wanted. So I saw like a lot of people with college degrees just working at Starbucks or something like that. And so I was able to learn that there's more than one way to achieve success. And I may still go back to school at some point. Right now, though, I'm more focused on, I want to, like, on the job training. I rather be doing what is of whatever my interests are. And I really love that the self-publishing school encompasses so many of my interests. It's got I don't think I mentioned that I studied creative writing in school, but you have the writing side, you have the entrepreneur side, where a lot of the writers are using their books to generate leads for whatever business they're doing. And I mean, I'm all about that. I really, really value that. So I hope this video is not too long. I hope it's not all over the place. And I hope it represents and reflects what you were looking for in your candidate. And I think I'll close there. And I really appreciate this opportunity to be considered for the next phase. Thanks so much, Omer. Hopefully we'll talk soon. Bye.